Hello folks, in this video we will discuss about arguably the most important concept in JavaScript, and that is DOM manipulation. The full form of DOM is Document Object Model, and this page you can see over here, this is called the document. And Document Object Model or DOM manipulation is a way of talking with this page using JavaScript. It is basically the beating heart of JavaScript, and we will see that in this video. So here, as you can see, I have one HTML file, I have some styles and a script.js file attached over here. I have one heading with anime, and a container with 4 anime shows: Naruto, One Piece, Attack on Titan, and Vinland Saga. I have also the class name of anime and some IDs attached. So I will simply ignore all of this and go to my JavaScript, and we can see that how we can talk with this document using my JavaScript. So first of all, we will see how we can access the DOM elements using JavaScript. So there are a few methods for this. So first, let's check the first method, how we can access using our IDs. So let's say I want to access the Naruto. So I can simply write document.getElementById, and I have to use the unique ID for the Naruto, that is anime1. And now if I log out this Naruto, you can see that I'm getting the div with the anime of ID anime1, and these are all the properties associated with Naruto, but there are a few important. So let's go down, and as you can see here we have something called outer HTML. So we can also simply directly output that one, so it will show me the whole HTML. We can also check the inner HTML, and it will check whatever is inside, and that is only the text of Naruto. Yeah, this is how we are accessing using IDs. So now the next thing we will see is how we can access elements using class name. So let's say I want to access all my anime using the class name of anime. So I will write document get element by class name, and here I will give the class name of anime. Now for IDs, there is only one unique ID, but class name can be duplicate. So this will actually not give me one element, it will actually give me a collection of 4 elements. So all of these animes 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, that is all of these 4 we will get. So we can also give one specific output, so this will only give the third one. So 0th one will give me the Naruto. So let's remove the inner HTML from Naruto, and as you can see, it is both are giving the Naruto. So first one is by ID, this is by ID, and second one, this is by class name. And what we are trying to do, we are trying to do DOM access. Now the third method that we will see is something called tag name by tag name. So let's say I want to access the div tag. So what are the div tags? So as you can see, all of these containers, everything and these classes, everything is part of this div. So I want to access the elements which has this div tag. So let div tag equals to the same way document.getElement by tag name, and here I will pass my div. So all my divs will be passed over here. So let me simply log out this div tag, and what do we get? We get an HTML collection. So first one is a container that has a div, and then the 4 animes. So let's say instead of this div tag, let me simply pick the h1 tag, and let me also log out this h1 tag, and here I will put the h1, and let's simply comment these things out. So what do we get now? We get only my first h1, that is this one. So let me just simply put the inner HTML. We will see this heading. Okay, it's saying some issues with this. Let me simply put the h1 tag, and let's see what do we get. We have, okay, ideally this is also thinking of it as a collection. So what we have to do is h1 tag 0. Here we will get our h1, and now if I do my inner HTML, it will give me anime, because these tag names can also be duplicate. So these tag names are taking the elements as an array, and for IDs it is taking only the element. So this is how we are checking the tag names also. So let's comment this part out and uncomment the above. Now the next thing that we will check is something called query selector. So this is query selector, and what it will do is it will give us the liberty to check which one we want. So let's say I want to pick the Attack on Titan anime. So let AOT equals to document.querySelector, and now it gives me the liberty how I want to pick this one. So let's say I want to pick it by the ID. So now this is now document get element by id. So here I need to actually give the hashtag of anime3 because it needs to know what is the tag of this. So this is an id tag in the sense like what is the identifier. So dot is for classes, hashtag is for IDs. So if I give hashtag anime3, it knows that it will pick up the third one, that is my AOT. And now if I simply log out AOT dot inner HTML, I will get that one. It will also give only one element. So outer HTML will give me the whole HTML. Yeah, that's it. So let's keep it as inner HTML only. And the last thing that we will check is query selected all. Let's name it QSA in short. So what is query selected all? So it is basically, it will also take a list of things. So let's say I want to pick up all my animes. So let me pick it by anime by selector. And I will write document dot query selected all, this one. And I want to pick the animes which has the class name of anime. Now if I log this thing, you will see that I am getting some collection anime by selector. And as you can see, this is a list of 4 items with all the animes. So this is how in basics we can access the DOM elements. Now we will check the next thing, and that is how we can modify the text. So there are basically 3 ways to modify text. One way, we already know how to check the text, modifying text. So for example, we have Naruto, and we can do inner HTML, and we can log this thing, console log this thing, and what we get. So let's simply comment this whole thing above, because we are only focusing on the text for now, other than the Naruto. So we only get my Naruto. This is the inner HTML. But now the thing is that we can also change these things. So for example, let's say Naruto dot inner HTML. Let me change it to something else. Let's make it Pokemon. And now if I console log the Naruto dot inner actually, even if I don't do it, see what will happen. This Naruto will change to Pokemon. So as you can see, we can change text like this. And instead of inner HTML, we can also make it inner text. So let's make it inner text to DBZ, Dragon Ball Z. And you can see it is changed to DBZ. And there is another thing that we can do, and that is text content. Now what is the difference between them? We will check that. So let's change it to some other names. Let's change the name to Dr. Stone. And as you can see, the name is changed. Now we will see what is the difference between them. And to do that, I will go to my index.html file, and after Naruto, let me create another div, and let me write here inside Shippuden. So now I will come back to my script.js. I will comment out these 3 lines. Let me also comment out the Naruto, and here I will log out the 3 things once again. Naruto dot inner HTML, then inner text, and lastly text content. And now you will see the difference. So do you see the difference? What is the first one giving? The first one is giving the whole inner HTML. So basically the HTML that is present inside this div, that is the first one, inner HTML. Then comes inner text. So what it is giving over here? It is giving exactly the format we see in the DOM. So it is following the DOM format. And lastly, we have the text content, which is giving the text exactly as it is. So it is giving the correct one, that is Naruto Shippuden, in the format it should be. So as you can see, this is the basic difference between the inner HTML, inner text, and text content. So let me change it back to Naruto. And now the next thing that we will see is how we can add styles. So let me just comment these 3 things out again. And now we will check the styles. So how can we change styles in JavaScript? So first of all, let me change one style, and the style of the whole body. So I will write document.body.style.background color, and let me change this thing to let's say light blue. So as you can see, using JavaScript, I have successfully changed the style of this page. So this is how we are changing the background color, but basically we can change anything we want. So let's say now we want to change the style for Naruto. So we can simply do Naruto.style.color. Let's make it white. So now the Naruto is in white. I can make it anything I want. I can also, let's say, change the style dot font size. So any CSS we have, we can access it in this format. So let's say font size, and I will make it, let's say, to Ariam. Now the Naruto is bigger. So yeah, that is how it's very basic how we are changing styles. So let's comment these things out, and now we will see something very important, and that is how we can actually create and remove, and also create and remove elements using JavaScript. So create, remove elements, and also we will see how we can set properties in the same place, set attributes and properties. So right now we have Naruto, One Piece. Let's keep the light blue color, it's actually good. So right now we have these 4 anime shows, but now let's say I want to add another one. Let me try to add Bleach and another one over here. So how we can do that? So first of all, I will create one div, and let's give the name as div element, and I can create it by writing something like this: document dot create element, and I can write div over here. So one div is created, but now we actually have to append the div in the document. So how can we do that? I can simply write container that we already have. Actually we don't have, because we commented out this line. Let me once again uncomment the container. So where we have our container, let me just write again, I forgot. So our container should be document dot get element by document dot query selector, and let me just take the container. So I have my container, and in the container I want to append my this thing, that is my div element. So yeah, so is it appended or not? So we can go to my elements and inspect and see whether it's appended or not. So I will expand my body, and in the body section, as you can see, I have another empty div, so that's why nothing is being shown here. So let's say inside this div, let me add some text. So div element dot inner HTML, we already know how to add text, and let's add another anime show, Bleach. So now what do we have? Yeah, we have the Bleach over here, but we do not have the exact styles. So how can we actually add these styles? That we will see now. So, and to do that, we have to add some attributes. So what are attributes? So let's say in my index.html file, I have this class name and this ID and then Naruto. So this class name and this ID, so there are some styles I have in the style.css file. So here I have some styles for this anime. So these styles need to be added, which is present in this anime class. So this class need to be added as an attribute. So this is something we need to know how we can do. So it is very simple actually. We will simply write div element dot set attribute, and here I will say what I want to add. I want to add class, and what is the name of the class? The name of the class is anime, and we can give or not give the ID. That is not really important because we will have our styles. And yeah, we can also give the ID also. Let's say set attribute, I want to give the ID, and let's give the ID as anime 5. So now if we inspect, we will see that we have 5 anime shows, so not the head. Let me expand the body, and inside this div one, so you can see the fifth one is Bleach, and it is actually good practice to make it append child and not simply append. Now apart from this append child, we can also remove elements. So I can simply write container dot remove child, and if I give the div element, you will see that this Bleach will get removed. Yeah, so once again we have 4. So yeah, that is how we can create a random element, not random or any element we want, and we can set attributes, and we can also append them and also remove them. So let's keep the Bleach element over here, and so right now we are using the set attribute to add a class as well as ID, but there is also another syntax to add class, and that is we can simply write div elem dot class list dot add, and here I will only give the name of the class, and that is anime, and it will do the same thing as what we did in the last syntax. So once again, if I expand this body and if I expand this container, you will see exactly the same thing. And so yeah, that's basically how we are creating, removing and appending children. and we are also setting up these attributes. Now there are a few other attributes properties like get attributes and has attribute. So let's check that out and then we can close the video. So here let's say we have many things. So let's say let me just write one variable and let's name this variable as has attribute, has attr, and I want to check that if a certain div has a certain attribute or not. So let's say I have my div element and I want to check whether this thing has an attribute called id, and let me log out this thing has attr. So this is a bool value, boolean, and what it will show true, because this thing, this div element has an id because we have added this id. But let's see if this thing has something called source. Now we will see false because it doesn't have a source. Now we will also do another thing, and that is get attribute attr, and we will do div element dot get attribute, and we want the attribute for the id. So now we will log out this has attribute as well as the get attribute, and let's see. The first one is false and the second one is anime5 because the value of the id is anime5. If I make it class, it will give anime, so it gave anime. That's so that's good. And also let's test this out as attribute after I'm removing some attributes. So there is also remove attribute. So right now this thing has an id of anime5. Okay, let's comment out these parts and let's bring the has attribute down. So right now it's true because it has this attribute of id. So now let's do one thing. We have our div element and we will remove our attribute, and as you can see it is expecting two things. So the first thing is, what do we want to remove? Actually not two, it is only expecting one thing. The set attribute will expect two. The first one is the value, the second one is what is the attribute, and for remove we only want to give the attribute name which we want to remove. So now after we have removed this thing, I have to write the has attribute again. Now there is an error because we cannot use the let keyword twice, but I can simply make it has attribute equals to the div element has attribute with id. So we can basically check this thing twice, and let's also console log this thing twice. So first thing we will console log over here, and then after I am removing this I will once again console log. So now the first thing will show true and the next thing will give false. So our expected result is correct. Now the last thing we will see before closing for today is how we can traverse the DOM. So here we have few things. We have one container, one Naruto, and also we have created one div element, and we can see that this container is a parent of all these elements, Naruto, One Piece, Vinland Saga, as well as our new div element. So there is actually a way to access these parents and childs using JavaScript. So what we can write over here is, first of all, let's write let child element equals to, and we will write parent, not parent, the parent is the container dot child nodes. This is something we can write, and also we can write let parent element equals to, we can pick one of the childs, let's say div element or anything, Naruto is also fine, and we will write parent node. Now for the parent there could be many child nodes, but for many child nodes there will only be one parent. So there is a difference over here. The first one is child node, second one is parent node. Now let me simply console log the parent element and the child element, log child element, and let me simply comment out this above parts so that there is no confusion. So as you can see, for the first one, for the parent element, we have our div container which is the parent, and for the parent element there are many child nodes. So we have our anime 1 2 3 4 5, and we also have the text. So this is how we can access parents and childs. And now another thing we need to check, and that is sibling nodes. So let me write let sibling, and let's say we have Naruto and we want to access the next sibling of Naruto. So here we have our Naruto which is our anime 1. So we will do something like this, Naruto dot next sibling, and now if I log this thing sibling, what is the expected result? The expected result should be this text. So let me save this thing, and as you can see it is coming as text. So if we want to get One Piece, that is the second one, we have to write next sibling dot next sibling, and then we get our div anime 2, that is our One Piece. So this is how we can also traverse using JavaScript. Now we can also add many events with DOM manipulation. So let's say we can add events. So for example, let's say for the Naruto, let me add one event listener, and let's make the event as click, and let's do one console log. Let's give an alert that you clicked on Naruto, and when I click on Naruto, I get this alert. So this is how there is no end to what we can do with DOM manipulation. Basically, every vanilla JavaScript app is actually a play of this DOM manipulation. Now, event listeners are something for another video. It is a huge topic in itself, but that's all for DOM manipulation in JavaScript. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.